presenting.
Yes. Namaste everyone. My name is Vaishali Shah. I welcome each one of you to our session on Hindu culture and lifestyle. You're watching us live on hinduscriptures.com Facebook page. Tomorrow you will get to see this video on hinduscriptures.com YouTube channel as well. Today we are very blessed to have a very learned and highly influential, highly blessed soul who's going to bless us with his discourses. So I'm very, very happy and really, delighted to tell you that today's talk is very, very special to me. I'm very pleased and I'm very blessed that Swamiji is with us. So before we start our session, I request Sanjay ji to start the session with the prayer. Sanjay ji.
Yes. Shri Gurubhyo Namah Hari
थैंक यू संजय जी और आप सभी छोटे बालक जिन्होंने अच्छी इतनी अच्छी तरह से सेशन की शुरुआत की। ये हमारे आई थिंक वैदिक पाठशाला के बालक है जो वहाँ पे रह के वैदिक स्टडीज और हमारे हिंदू शास्त्र के और वैदिक शास्त्र के बारे में अध्ययन करते हैं. So before we start our session, I would like to read our Pujya Guruji's profile to our audience, because before he starts, I want my audience to know that how fortunate we are today to have his discourse on our page. It's one of the rare occasions that I get to meet or get to hear somebody like him on our kind of page. So let's have a small brief about Guruji, though his profile is huge, but I had to give a glimpse of what he is today. His Holiness Sri Jayendra Puri Swamiji is the worthy successor to His Holiness Sri Tiruchi Mahaswamigal. Sri Jayendra Puri Swamiji was officially nominated as a successor to the Peetha at Sri Kailash Ashram, Mahasamasthana in Bangalore, India on 11th December 2003, and has been in charge of the administration of both Sri Tiruchi Mahaswamigal's ashram and Sri Raj Rajeshwari temple since 1993. Sri Jayendra Puri Swami was born on 20th October 1960 and a happy and fulfilling childhood. Coming from a somewhat modern family, Swamiji's first exposure to Hindu scriptures was when Swamiji was 27 years old. What was amazing was that when Swamiji read these scriptures for the first time, it was like Swamiji knew them already. They all seemed so familiar to him. Sri Jayendra Puri Swamiji felt inspired to make his way to Sri Kailash Ashram Samasthana to seek guidance on the divine path from His Holiness Sri Tiruchi Mahaswamigal. The instant Swamiji met His Holiness Sri Tiruchi Mahaswamigal, Swamiji knew immediately that he had found his Guru. There was not even a trace of doubt in his mind. He was designated as the Mandaleshwar of Niranjani Akhada, Haridwar in 2010, as per the wishes of Guruji's Tiruchi Mahaswamiji and Prakash Nandaji Maharaj. One of Sri Jayendra Puri Swamiji's many special talents is that his aptitude for learning languages. He can speak all the South Indian dialects as well as Hindi. He's also fluent in German and Italian. His extensive knowledge of Vedas and Shastras is shared in the most simple and easy to understand modern anecdotes. A true blend of tradition and modernity, Swamiji can use any modern device and technology with the same ease as he expounds Bhagavad Gita. Presently, Sri Jayendra Puri Mahaswamiji is the Pithadipati of Sri Kailash Ashram Samhasthala Trust and all other branch trusts, including Sri Gnanakshi Education Institutions Trust and Sri Raj Rajeshwari Charitable Hospital Trust. Swamiji's one and sole aim is to revive the glorious heritage of the Bharatiya Sanskriti in its totality with due respect and regard of all other world cultures and present the goodness of all cultures to the entire mankind in such a manner that everyone respects the other, irrespective of geographic, ethnic, language, or any other differences, and ultimately attains God in all glory. So, स्वामी जी आपका बहुत बहुत स्वागत है. स्वामी जी शायद आप म्यूट है. आप just please ask someone to check. Are you on mute? Because I can't.
No, can you hear me?
Yes. Thank you. Swamiji, you're welcome. I'm so glad. I have no words to explain my joy that I'm going to get blessed by you today. I want to request to please, share your divine words with us and our audience.
Hari Om. Thank you, Srimati Vaishali Shah, Srimati Uma Janapareddy, and Sanjay ji. It's okay. Shall I begin?
Yes, we
Oh. Shri Kailas Mathathisham Tiruchi Swami Yatishwaram Bhavatitam Bhavaharam Vandeham Paramam Gurum Sadhu Priyam Kripabdhim Cha Shantamurtim Taponidhim Shishya Prashishya Rupena Bodhakam Gurumashraye Amba Shambhavi Chandramaulirabala Aparna Uma Parvati Kali Haimavati Shiva Trinayani Katyayani Bhairavi Savitri Navayovana Shubhakari Samrajya Lakshmi Prada Chidrupa Paradevata Bhagavati Shri Rajarajeshwari Atulita Baladhamam Hema Shailabhadeham Danujavana Krishanum Jnaninam Agraganyam Sakala Gunanidhanam Vanaranam Adhisham Raghupati Priya Bhaktam Vatajatam Namami Buddhir Balam Yasho Dhairyam Nirbhayatvam Arogata Ajadyam Vakpatutvam Cha Hanumat Smaranat Bhavet. With an ardent prayer to Bhagavati Jagannmata Sri Jnanakshi Rajarajeshwari, who made us all fortunate by appearing in the form of our great master, His Holiness Paramacharya Jagadguru Sri Sri Tiruchi Mahaswamigal, and Bhagavati Sri Jnanakshi Rajarajeshwari, who is present in each and every one of us as the Atma Tattva. By the grace of Divine Mother, we are all present here today through the very, very dedicated mediation of Hindu scriptures, beautifully organized and conducted by Srimati Vaishali Shah, and through an additional mediation of Srimati Uma Raghuram, who are always on the search for truth. In my opinion, there is no person on this earth who will touch the Hindu scriptures until he is prompted by a search for truth. The very word Anveshanam, Jignasa, stems from the word Jnanam. So Jignasa is the urge to know. Jignasa. मेरी जिज्ञासा है, जानना चाहता हूँ, जानना चाहती हूँ. इसका नाम है जिज्ञासा. ज्ञान को प्राप्त करना चाहता हूँ. I want to acquire knowledge. The moment you say knowledge, the question arises, what type of a knowledge? Do you want what we call as the transactional worldly knowledge? Or do you want the knowledge which is beyond all transactions? It is only not outward, but it is about yourself. So now we see that in this topic which we have chosen for today, mankind in the perspective of Sanatana Dharma, or human life in the perspective of Sanatana Dharma, we can proclaim today that the ones who have studied the Bharatiya scriptures, Sanatana Dharma scriptures, which later came to be called as Hindu scriptures, Sanatana Dharma scriptures, Bharatiya scriptures, and then Hindu scriptures. This would be the chronology. So anybody who has delved deep into them will understand that truthfully in life, knowledge alone is the remover of the darkness of life, which is predominantly ignorance. So in order to remove this ignorance, there is no other possibility other than acquiring knowledge. So you will also find that many scholars, and in the Srimad Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavan Sri Krishna has repeatedly said, Nahi jnanena pavitram iha, nahi jnanena sadrisham pavitram iha vidyate. For Arjuna, there is nothing in this world as purifying as knowledge. Tat swayam yoga sansiddha kalen atmani vindati. And this ultimate knowledge is achieved by a person on the path of yoga, not hatha yoga, but yoga, which is a very broad word. It is not only asanas and pranayama, which is normally understood, but this word yoga, Bhagavan Krishna gives 3 definitions for this in the Bhagavad Gita. He says, yoga karmasu kaushalam, dexterity in action is called as yoga. Samatvam yoga uchyate, equanimity in life is called as yoga. Yogo bhavati dukkhaha, that aspect of human life which destroys all pain and suffering is called as yoga. 3 definitions he gives. In addition to the well-known definition of Bhagavan Patanjali Rishi, which says, yogas chitta vritti nirodha. Control of the mind's activity is called as yoga according to Patanjali. Dexterity in action is called as yoga according to Sri Krishna. Samatvam yoga uchyate, equanimity in all circumstances is called as yoga according to Sri Krishna. Yogo bhavati dukkhaha, that which destroys all pain and suffering is called as yoga. So now you find that Jivana yoga, the yoga of life itself, is a combination of all these things. So now, from the perspective of Sanatana Dharma, the very purpose of human life is to live such a glorious life that you know everything and you have everything. That is the ultimate. Is there anybody in this world who would shun prosperity? Is there anybody in this world who would shun knowledge? So now we'll come to the word Veda. The word Veda is also being used in a lot of philosophical discussions all over the world. But you see the root of the word. The word Veda, coincidentally, those people who want to study language, they can go deeper and see. In the Italian language, io vedo means I know. V-E-D-O. Lui vede, V-E-D-E, means he knows. Lei vede, V-E-D-E, means she knows. So this Veda, you can see that even in the Latin-based languages and even in the Sanskrit-based language, the word Vidya, the root is Vid, V-I-D, Vid. From this word Vid comes Vidwan, Vidya. So the simple meaning of the word Veda means knowledge. Veda means knowledge. That is the simplest meaning of the word Veda. When I say knowledge, now you can ask a question, what type of knowledge? But Vedas are the ultimate knowledge. That is what has been understood by all the scholars all over the world. So now the Vedic way only has got a parallel name, a synonym called as the Sanatana Dharma. Now I can say that the way of living, or that way the human life in the perspective of Sanatana Dharma means in the perspective of the Vedas. So what do the Vedas say, such as which I can call as the definition of human life itself? What do the Vedas say? So most of the scholars who have studied the Vedas, they would point out immediately at the Ishavasya Upanishad. Because it is in the Ishavasya Upanishad, which is quite short enough, it is clearly mentioned everything is permeated by God or Ishvaraha. Ishavasyamidam sarvam. Ishavasyamidam sarvam. Sarvam, the word sarvam means sab kuch. Without exception, everything is permeated by the presence of Paramatma, the source. Ishavasyamidam sarvam yat kinchit jagatyam jagat. In this continuously changing world, everything is permeated by God. Tena tyaktena bhunjithaha magridha kasya svidhanam. Therefore, knowing this, that Paramatma is present in everything, experience life with an element of renunciation. Don't try to covet others' wealth. Don't try to grab others' wealth. Don't try to cheat, or deceive anybody. So this is the essence of the entire Sanatana Dharma. Somebody asked once, what is can you put it in a shloka? In one shloka, what is Sanatana Dharma? Bhagavan Vedavyasa Rishi, who was given us the 18 Puranas and that greatest work in the world called as Mahabharatam, and who is actually, to whom it is attributed that he is the one who divided one Veda into 4 Vedas and gave 4 to 4 of his disciples. He says, listen to me, I will give you the essence of all scriptural knowledge in one line. Especially the Bharatiya Samskriti. He says, Shruyatam, suno. Shruyatam means suna jaye, mere se suna jaye. Shruyatam dharma sarvasvam. I will tell you the entirety of dharma. Dharma ka sab kuch main bata raha hu, suno. Shruyatam dharma sarvasvam shrutva chaiva avadharyatam. Sunne ke baad apne जीवन में utaro. After listening to it, put it into practice in your life. What is that? Atmana pratikulani. Atmana pratikulani paresham na samachare. Do not do unto others what you shall not have done unto you. Do not do unto others what you shall not have done unto you. Can you imagine that this is the essence of all the Puranas, all the Vedas, and all the Dharma Granthas of Bharatiya Samskriti, of Sanatana Dharma? I'm repeating it several times. Do not do unto others what you shall not have done unto you. In Hindi, किसी के साथ वह नहीं करना जो तुम अपने साथ नहीं किया जाना चाहते हो. If you don't like somebody to lie to you, if you don't like somebody to lie to you, and you are dharmic, you want to follow dharma, then what you ought to do is don't lie to others. If you don't want others to deceive you, cheat you, then if you want to be dharmic, then don't cheat others, don't deceive others. If you don't want anybody to abuse you, and you want to be dharmic, then don't abuse others. If you don't want to talk others to talk ill about somebody else, and you want to be dharmic, don't talk ill about others. As simple as that. As simple as that. The question will now arise, okay, you have told me what I should not do. What should I do then? You have told me what you ought not to do. One ought not to do is don't talk ill about others. So by saying the contrary, Bhagavan Vedavyasa has elucidated beautifully that you ought to do that which is good to the whole world. You ought to do that which is good to you and to the whole world. So what is that? That beautiful conduct and your activity is called as dharma. People have given lots of meanings of the word dharma, but simplest meaning of dharma is that which ought to be done by a human being for the welfare of the world, which includes oneself. That which ought to be done by a human being for the welfare of the world. What is welfare now? Welfare is maintaining the harmony of the world. And the word harmony, the word harmony is also the root for the word harmonium. Harmonium comes from the word harmony, which means that which maintains a beautiful melody joining with each other's swaras. You know that there are notes sarigama padani. So these sarigama padani are the notes, and sa merges, blends with re, and re blends with ga, and ra and pa and ma, all they blend together to make a beautiful song, beautiful bhajan. Because in that bhajan you can see that everything is moving so beautifully, harmoniously. So this harmony means prema, vishvasa, construction, prosperity, not destruction, not hate. So this is called as dharma. The word dharma means, now we go deeper into the word. Again, I'm coming back to the topic. What was our topic? The human life in the perspective of Sanatana Dharma. So what would human life consist when one follows the Sanatana Dharma? Simple. One will always be on the path of Dharma. One will never deviate from the path of Dharma. So now let us understand the path of Dharma. What exactly Dharma means. In the path of Dharma, one chooses activities as soon as one is able to choose the activities in such a manner that one always contributes to the welfare of the world. We all know that all of us have passed childhood. During the childhood, we know we are all innocent. A child comes and asks, a mother was describing the glory of her marriage to somebody, one of her friends, and the child was just happened to listen. Mother was saying, how beautiful it was, very beautiful. So many people had come. They all were so loving to me. They brought so many gifts and gave to me. The child was listening. A 2-year-old child was listening so carefully. Then the child said, why didn't you take me to your marriage, mommy? The child asked the mother. So this is called as innocence, Innocence is so beautiful. Anywhere in the world, a child is like the center of attraction. The child captures everybody's mind. So that is innocence. All of us have passed innocence. But gradually, you see, we come to a stage where we start choosing. The parents chose for us. In fact, the parents only taught us the concept of I like, I don't like also. I want, I don't want. So this is the concept itself was taught by the parents to us, but within us also there were certain likes and dislikes. Inherent likes and dislikes, what we call as tendencies, inherent tendencies, they were also there. So because of that, for example, one child automatically prefers sweets. Another child automatically prefers other than sweets. One child prefers cold water. Another child prefers a little warm water. So this way you see, these inherent tendencies which are there in us also are the cause for our likes and dislikes. And then we are taught also. We are taught by parents also. See, you ought to like this. One should not like wicked acts. One should develop a liking for good acts. So this way we are slowly groomed, and then we come to a stage where we start choosing fully for ourselves. We start choosing, although we are not all-knowing. Remember, we are choosing at a stage when we are not all-knowing. And to say that somebody is all-knowing in this world is far-fetched. It's far-fetched. Sarvajnatva, sab kuch janna, that is very, it's almost like saying, other than Lord Almighty, nobody else, nobody is there who knows everything. So what we try to know, we keep on making an effort to know, Why do we try to know? Because we don't know. Not knowing is called as ignorance. Not being able to know is called as innocence. Not being able to know something is innocence, but not knowing is ignorance. So we start making an effort now to know things. And for that, what we do, we have got what is called as a formal schooling, or we go to elders. In our Gurukula system, in the olden days of Gurukula system, the parents used to send the children to a Gurukula, a place where the master resides, the master who is all-knowing or well versed in the scriptures. So the child used to be sent there. And the child, remember, people are mistaken that it is only boys who were sent. No, that is not right. Even girls were sent to Gurukulas to study. Shakuntala was brought up by Kanva Rishi. Shakuntala was brought up by Kanva Rishi, who picked up the child. After Menaka left the child and went away, Shakuntala was picked up by Kanva Rishi and brought up. And even girls and boys studied together in a very, very different atmosphere of absolute love and affection. Without any formal rules, all of them used to do all activities. So after the Gurukula study, the person would become of age, and then the next stage of life would be taken up, which is called as matrimony. That is how it went. So now this ignorance is now going to be slowly removed, little by little by knowledge. So this knowledge which we are going to acquire is going to be our companion. You know the value attributed to knowledge in the Bharatiya scriptures. And the comparison, you can see how beautiful it is given. It says, Na choraharyam. Chor usko chura nahi sakta hai. Hamare paas jo knowledge hai, the knowledge which we have cannot be stolen by a thief. Na choraharyam. Na cha rajaharyam. Raja also cannot take it away from us. In other words, the government cannot snatch knowledge from us. Na bhratribhajyam. Knowledge is also not going to be demanded by our siblings or kith and kin. We can't share that knowledge with everybody in that manner as partition, or what you call as, as legal sharing. That is not possible with knowledge. Na bhratribhajyam, na cha bharakari. And knowledge is not very heavy to carry, just like school children carry heavy bags. Knowledge is not heavy to carry also. And if you expend knowledge, it only increases, it doesn't decrease. So vidyadhanam sarvadhana pradhanam. It cannot be stolen by thieves. The king or the government cannot snatch it away. Your kith and kin cannot claim your knowledge. It is not heavy to carry. And if you expend it, it keeps on increasing. That is the beautiful wealth called as knowledge. So this type of a glory is given to knowledge. Therefore, the word Veda means knowledge. Now, the word Veda is not just knowledge. It has got many other significance also. What is that? Vidjnane is knowledge. Vidvicharane also. With root is also used in the meaning of inquiry. The Vedas prompt you to inquire about your whereabouts. Then vid sattayam. The word vid is also in the meaning of existence, pure existence. Then comes vid labhe. Fourth meaning is in the meaning of benefit, prosperity. So Veda has got four meanings. Vid jnane in the meaning of knowledge, vid vicharane in the meaning of inquiry, vid sattayam in the meaning of existence, and vid labhe in the meaning of benefit. So these are the four main connotations of the word Veda. So that's that beautiful scriptures which prompt us to study and which give us knowledge, and which will tell us about the meaning of existence, and which give us a benefit like prosperity. So keeping this in mind, what would be the human life in the perspective of Sanatana Dharma? Sanatana Dharma says that man, you should live a beautiful life. What is that beautiful life? That beautiful life consists of 4 parts. Dharma, Artha, Kama and Moksha. This is called as Chaturvida Purushartha. Chaturvida Purushartha, the 4 pursuits of human life. Dharma, Artha, Kama and Moksha. Dharma means virtuous life. Artha is material gain. Kama is fulfillment of passions. And moksha is ultimate knowledge and the fruit of knowledge. So this understanding these 4 purusharthas would be the essence of human life in the perspective of Sanatana Dharma. So now I would suggest that you can ask some questions if you have, so that we can proceed with a very live session.
Guruji, I was just writing down quite a few questions from the discourse which you have shared. When we say Sanatan Dharma or Vedic Dharma, what do you suggest for today's youth to follow? Because we have to interpret our knowledge into the capsule which today's youth would like to have. And so if we have to modernize our knowledge, what is the first step you suggest, we should do?
So when we say today's youth, the youth is confronted with a challenge of dealing with youthful passions and pursuit for profession, a beneficial profession. So these would be the main pursuits of a youth. What is that? I want to fulfill my passions. What are the passions? It could be a passion of a companion. It could be a passion of music. It could be a passion of art. In addition to that, one has to also earn one's living in a very nice manner. So these would be the 2 main pursuits. So when these 2 are there from the Vedic perspective, what the Vedas would say is, first acquire knowledge. I will tell you the very beautiful shloka from the Raghuvamsha Mahakavyam of Mahakavi Kalidasa. Mahakavi Kalidasa, all of you have heard of the name of Mahakavi Kalidasa. There is one small, a quote about Kalidasa. Kalidasa was called as Indian Shakespeare by somebody, whereas we would prefer to say Shakespeare was British Kalidasa. So I would prefer to say that way. But whatever it is, you know the glory of Kalidasa, Mahakavi Kalidasa. So he says in the Raghuvamsha that the Surya Vamsha, the solar race, was exemplary in correctly doing the things according to the stages of life. So they finished their education by the time youth set in. By the time youth set in, they finished their education. When youth set in, they pursued their passions and adopted matrimony. When that was then, they came to old age, then they completely dedicated themselves to scriptural study. And in the end, they did not die, they did not die, they left the body voluntarily. So now if we take Shaishave Abhyasta Vidyanam, Yauvane Vishayeshinam, Vardhake Munivrittinam, Yogenante Tanutyajam. So for today's youth, what would I suggest? Just if you are still in the let us say teenage, 13 to 20, if you are, try to control your passions and do a sincere study of whatever you have chosen. 13 to 20, don't give too much vent to passions. Concentrate on the basic studies first. So if somebody, Swamiji, you mean to say that we just give our entire youth, the most beautiful part of our life, only to studies? No, I would say if you want, you can reduce 2 years, 13 to 18. Or if you want to extend 2 years, 13 to 22, you give for studies, but not after that. After that, you ought to give vent to the passions. And how to give vent to the passions? Scripturally give vent to the passions. The Vedas say, Beautiful. Choose a partner and then lead the matrimonial life, which is glorious. Even Madurai Meenakshi got married to Bhagwan Shankar. Bhagwan Shankar, Madurai Meenakshi, Parvati also gets married. Reason is marriage. People do not know the meaning of marriage. Marriage is a legal, scriptural sanction to vent out your passions.
True, very true. Very well said, Guruji, because nowadays people just don't understand how we can have our sanskaras and the knowledge of spirituality, living a normal life, living a grahastha life.
Correct.
Because the moment we talk about sannyasi or sannyas or someone on a spiritual path, they think that they have to give up every other pleasure and then just be into this. So, Guruji, my second question is that since you have walked onto the path of sannyas, people have a lot of doubts and they don't understand the role, the importance of being into sannyas and how it can help somebody internally in their spiritual growth. So, I would like you to explain few words that what is the importance of taking sannyas?
Very beautiful question. If a votary, in other words, a person who wants to really understand the depth of the practices in Sanatana Dharma, I would suggest that you should read a translation of the commentary on the Bhagavad Gita by Bhagavad Padadi Shankaracharya. If you can get a translation of that, you read the very first introduction. Shankaracharya is beautifully puts it like this. Dvividho hi vedokto dharmaha. द्विविधा, वेद में बताया गया धर्म दो प्रकार का है. एक धर्म का नाम है प्रवृत्ति लक्षण धर्म, दूसरा नाम है निवृत्ति लक्षण धर्म. Already you remember I told you the word dharma. Dharma is the right conduct. So right conduct has got two ways. First type of right conduct is called as the grihastha dharma. The second type of right conduct is called as the non-grihastha dharma or sannyasa dharma. Both are dharmas. What does the word dharma mean? It's called as pursuit. So the first one pursues the ultimate objective of human life through experience of everything possible in life in the proper manner. That is grihastha dharma. What is everything in possible life? It means study. It means beautiful going to places, visiting places. It means marrying. It means having children. It means bringing up children. It means having vehicles. It means having property. It means wearing jewelry. It means visiting people. It means festivals. It means making beautiful sweets, distributing to everybody. And it also means having bhajans, organizing many activities for the welfare of the world. What does sannyasa mean? Sannyasa means respecting each and every individual soul in this world as an avatar of Paramatma and closing one's eyes and going deep into oneself to contemplate on the source of the universe. This is a choice. This is an absolute choice, a choice between the experiences of the world and external experiences, and the other one is internal experience. You just make a choice between the two. So what is the benefit of taking sannyas? Okay, somebody may say, are you not missing all these beautiful things in life? Then I will ask the same question. Are you not going to, don't you want to experience the beauty of the inner journey? So an outer journey is beautiful. An inner journey is also beautiful. You choose among the two. Both are equally valid. Don't be under the impression that sannyasa is greater than grihastha. Grihastha is as beautiful and sacred as sannyasa. So sannyasa means nivritti, grihastha means pravritti. I think you would have got an idea now. What?
Yes, Guruji, very wonderfully explained, because people like us in our, those who are in 30s and 40s, they're mostly running after increasing their bank balance and, putting up a good life. As you very well explained, our scriptures have given a full-fledged consent to live a Grihastha lifestyle. But the problem with today's youth is that they are not even enjoying that Grihastha lifestyle properly. They are just running after more and more. Like if they have one car, two cars, if they have one house, two house. So that greed and passion, and the difference between greed and what is their requirement is just not, they're not able to make out. So in this kind of thing, where one can have that cap, when one should know that, this is it, this is like more than this, I think I should now enjoy what I have created. So what kind of message you would like to give this kind of people, because that number is growing now, and they are the people who are facing that lifestyle issue, health issues, and so many other things.
The first point would be like this. See, you must be also a little amount of critical about the things you choose. For example, the education. We know that education is essential, but not at the cost of life itself. We know that money is essential, but not at the cost of a beautiful life. We know that position is essential, but not at the cost of living a beautiful, happy life. So now we have to make ourselves, we have to put these questions to ourselves. For example, a person who has, this does not apply to people who cannot have the minimum means for living, which we call as poor people. No, what I'm saying does not apply to them. What would you advise for the poor people, Swamiji? I would advise to the poor people, by all your efforts, first acquire knowledge. How much ever difficult it is, acquire knowledge. Go and serve people, go and help them, eke out your living, just manage to live every day, but don't give up knowledge. That is what I would suggest to the poor people who are hard of means. But to the people who have minimum means already, for example, in the middle level, I would say control your expenditure. Control your expenditure and pursue knowledge. Pursue knowledge, not only knowledge, look at your stages of life also. But the moment you have come to around 20 and 22, even if the living is difficult, even if you are earning little, step into the beautiful stage of life called as marriage. Don't think that after I get a very good position, after I have a little house of my own, then I will step into the grihastha. That is wrong. Because just like you are also struggling for life, there will be another girl who's like a boy struggling for life to earn his living. Another girl also will be there. So both of you can join together. The same struggle will continue. But don't say that by the time you say that after I get a house and then a car and then a position, it will already be 35 and the joy of life is already gone. And you will also not be eligible to, many people, they feel bad that they cannot have progeny, In our ashram, we can see so many people who come and say, Swamiji, what to do because of education, our married life got postponed. No, we do not know. Doctors say that and this, that we are not able to have progeny, we are not eligible. I said, now that is over, past is over. At least give your children the other opportunity by getting married at a very nice, beautiful time. So this is what I would suggest to the youth. Do not postpone the stages, the wants of the stages of life, keeping position, money, and standard of living as the deciding factor.
So good, wonderful. I have no words to say thank you, because this is not many people can explain this so well. So Guruji, now we all are struggling that, we want our education to be filled with Indian content, Indian context, and Indian heritage, Vedic heritage, Indian culture, because none of this is reflecting in what we study. So what we study is all theories, and they actually have no meaning in our practical life when we grow up. Today, I cannot use biology, physics, nothing in my everyday routine life. So what do you suggest, what we should teach? Because now we still have not got that, course curriculum or if it's not coming from our education ministry, that they have not changed the content, they have not changed the board as such. So what should we teach our kids to at least remain in the path of our Hindu heritage?
See, the scriptural knowledge of this Sanatana Dharma is so lofty that it is also a solution. It is also a solution to all the problems of human life. So it should become part and parcel of our curriculum. And where shall we start? We should start with basically Srimad Bhagavad Gita, which actually can be challenged also. You know, the advice of Krishna need not be simply accepted. You can challenge that also, but take it as a study. Take it as a study and challenge it. Take Srimad Bhagavad Gita and study it, and take one of the Upanishads and make it part of our curriculum, and then take Srimad Ramayana and Mahabharata. I'm telling you, if one can just put these 4 books as part of the 1 year or curriculum completely, I'm telling you, all the children who are in this great country and all over the world, I can proclaim that they'll become wise people. And they will know how to live with minimum, and they will know how to use maximum.
So true. So, Guruji, I want you to specifically say a few things like, apart from Bhagavad Gita, what all we need to do we need to put in that curriculum to build that character, because all our studies are all about personality building, and there is no character building, and that is the reason we are suffering with so many other issues in relationships and in even the mental state, even the mental happiness. So apart from that, what would you recommend that should go as it should become part of our curriculum?
See, how did the education system develop to what it is today? Why did you start? You remember from about 35 years back, I used to hear the 3 R's are important. You know what are 3 R's? Reading, writing, and arithmetic. That was called as 3 R's. Reading, writing, and arithmetic. So that was called as 3 R's. They were the minimum first. Then came geography. Then came all the other allied subjects. Many things came like that. How did it start? It started with basic necessity. What is the basic necessity for life? One should know how to add and subtract. One should know how to read and write. That is sufficient. That is the thing which. So now you see, if you want, in the Vedic perspective, if you want anything to be introduced with the curriculum, it is simple as simple. You should introduce the essence of the Vedic studies into the curriculum. For example, if I introduce Ramayanam into the curriculum, then in order to, when you introduce Ramayanam into the curriculum, what will happen? Automatically you start. Where will you start? There was a king, once upon a time, there was a king called Dasharatha in Ayodhya. Oh, then what will happen? Okay, the king lived very well. He looked after subjects very well, and he had so much power that he used to help the devatas also to win over the demons. Then you don't leave it at demons. You say, what is this demon? What is this devata? Devata is Sadbuddhi and demon is Durbuddhi. So Sadbuddhi was Dasharatha, and then comes Dashendriya Ratho Dehi. This Jivatma is called as Dasharatha. This Jivatma in all of us is called Dasharatha because of 10 Indriyas, It's got 10 senses. Dasharatha. These rathas can go all directions, and the mind is a lagam for that one. So you keep your mind under control, and then you experience these things. So this knowledge is absent in the curriculum today. This knowledge of controlling oneself and pursuing something which is lofty is absent in the curriculum. What is there? Right at the beginning, right from the age of, say, nursery itself. So what do you call? You call one child as, for example, Ramesh, what do you want to become after you become big? What do you want to become? Why do you want to become something already before you have started? I don't want to become anything. I just want knowledge. I must know what is right and wrong. I must know what I ought to do, what I ought not to do. So I should know that I should look after my body correctly. I should have proper food. I should have proper activity, physical activity, yoga. And then I should study. So then automatically character comes. Character does not come by imagining. It comes by listening to wrong, listening to right, and discarding the wrong and choosing the right.
Yes, Guruji, so true. My last question to you is that what kind of message you would like to tell our audience? Our audience is not only in India, they are in Africa, US, UK, and mostly NRIs. those who have some inclination to know about India and Indian heritage. And many of them, I know that they have never been to India, never been to Bharat ever in their lives. So, and we have, they have challenges, and we also have a lot of perception challenges, that people have a lot of wrong perceptions about India. So these kind of people who want to pursue, to know about scriptures, what kind of suggestions you would like to give?
Read translations of the Bhagavad Gita and the Ramayanam and Mahabharatam as the first step. Daily inculcate, put it as a part of your study every day. Read the first sarga of Mahabharata. Read the first kanda, Balakanda of Ramayanam. Read the Bhagavad Gita, first chapter, second chapter, third chapter. Read something. Read in your own language. The moment you start reading, you'll start getting questions. Ask us, we will answer them. You ask the questions, put forth the questions. If you have a question, we will answer them. If you're not satisfied with that, you are free to go to another person who can give you a better answer. But don't stop asking questions. Ask questions, but should be prompted to questions, no? Should be prompted. If you do not study a translation of these things, then where is the possibility of exposure? The most important thing every day is satsang. Always be in the company of the good and get good knowledge. So the last message I would say is, learn to live the right life through the Bharatiya scriptures.
Wonderful, Guruji. I'm really very, very thankful to you that you shared your divine words with our audience. I'm very, very touched. I have no words to explain, and I have no words to tell you how much I'm glad, and आपका बहुत बहुत आभार that आपने हमारे audience के साथ आज अपने अपने knowledge share kiya. So thank you, Guruji. Thank you so much for this wonderful discourse, and thank you for your time. Namaste. Namaste.
Hari Om, Srimati Vaishali Shahji and Srimati Uma Raghuram. May this message reach as many people as possible. If anybody has any queries, either by mail or in any other manner possible, except for exact, immediately we may not be able to answer your question, but we are here. Hari Om.
Thank you.
Hari Om.
Hari Om.